Great day, great day. Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to our Women You Are Whole, Healed, and Wealthy virtual conference today. I am excited to bring to you today a phenomenal woman, sister, a friend of mine, personal friend of mine, someone that I had the pleasure to see firsthand evolve into this woman full of wisdom. I am honored to say that I have been her mentor. I have to say it's one of many honors that I hold, and that is one. She has uh, a lot. She has 10 years of real estate experience as an agent. Of course, she went to Outreach School of Real Estate, but she later expanded her skill set and she is into design and construction planning. Robin specializes in guiding and transformation of distressed properties into strategic assets. Her work integrates financial literacy, operational structure, and faith based principles, positioning her as a voice for those called to build beyond profit and into legacy. Robin is also a phenomenal mom, a phenomenal auntie, and she wears so many hats, a phenomenal millionaire mindset sister and friend. So, before I bring Robin to the stage today, I want you to do me a favor, and I want you to go ahead and share this training today, because this is one of those trainings that you do not want to miss. This is one of the trainings where um, it can truly be life changing. I want you to truly get your pen, a paper, your notepad, your iPad, whatever it is that you take notes on. And I want you to stay affixed to this training today as we talk about one of the most important one is, I would say, it's top of the line as it relates to a success, an important topic about mindset and dismantling the poverty mindset. And so I want us to pay attention and not just, take all this information for ourselves, but I want you to go ahead and share, and I want you to tag someone. Share, tag, share, tag, and let's talk about dismantling the poverty mindset. In our conference today, again, the topic is dismantling the poverty mindset. And our goal is to make sure, women, you are whole, you are healed, and you are wealthy. And in order for you to be wealthy, we got to identify the polar opposite, which is poverty. And we're going to do that today. So go ahead, tag, share. Let me see who is here with me. Tag and share, tag and share. Hello, Dominica. I'm so glad that you're here. So glad that you are tagging, sis. Oh, awesome, awesome. Keep tagging and sharing. So, without any further ado, I am going to bring to the stage today our guest speaker, our expert in the realm of mindset and breaking barriers. She's also an author, which is so many titles. She's a best-selling author as well. So without any further ado, I'm going to bring the one and only Robin Natasha and to the stage today. Let's give her some love as she comes. There you are.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I am wonderful, living in purpose and on purpose.
Yes, absolutely. That's the right answer.
Yes, good evening, ladies. Good evening, good evening. Of
Yeah.
course, I can see the chat. Okay. I can't see the chat, but I can see the little screen that comes across.
There
Yeah,
you go.
that's
I'll
really,
do
really
that
tiny,
for you.
really tiny. So if you are asking questions, I just ask that we hold it to the end, and I'll try my best to see what is being asked.
Hmm.
So again,
I'm
mhm.
I'll move out your way if you're gonna get started.
Okay.
You're gonna just dive in.
Yes.
Okay, so that's my exit. That's my exit. That's my exit. Okay, everyone, make sure you share. I'm handing this topic over to Robin. Again, is dismantling the poverty mindset. And I am going to go backstage and I got my pen and my paper and I'm listening as well. All right, guys.
Good evening. Good evening. I am so honored to be here speaking today for more reasons than one. I do not get up here to boast. I get up here to share, encourage, because I know that it is something that we all are plagued with. Poverty is something that I witnessed as a child and thought that I identified that. I thought that, that's what's supposed to happen, that is the cards that I was dealt. Because, you look around and you see people who drive fancy cars and live in big houses and you go, why not me? Why not my family? My parents, they used to always tell us when we were younger, we're going to buy a house, we're going to buy a house. And we never bought a house, needless to say. And as I got older, I used to wonder, like, why didn't they just go buy a house? Like, don't you just go sign paperwork and take some money? My dad worked, my mom worked, she was an entrepreneur, but she had money coming in. It seemed very easy, very simple. I also was in a state of comparison, which is a poverty mindset, because every summer me and my siblings would go to Chicago and we would see our grandparents, and they actually owned property, real estate property. And so I used to think, like, why is it that they get to do that when they birth children? Why don't they tell them how to do it? And not realizing that they were sharing the things that they knew. However, when you are in a specific situation, you only look at the things that you have as a resource. So I'm going to segue right into why I am qualified to speak on poverty as a state of mind. So, fast forward, I became an adult. I found out it's not very easy to just go after specific goals, is what, I started telling myself. So I settled. I rented an apartment. I looked at everything that was around me, conditioned. I was conditioned to everything that was around me. And I said, well, I don't have the money to buy. I don't have the money to invest. Where did that come from? It came from what I thought was my parents, but it actually goes further than that. I myself developed a belief system outside of my parents because I began to blame them for not, subconsciously, for not providing us a house or real estate that I thought that they should have provided to me, right? So in my head, I was limiting myself because it was, again, why other people and why not me? I equated, as an adult, I equated that my grandparents was able to buy the houses because they were tired. They must have saved the money in order to get that. So you have to be old or older in order to purchase real estate. This is all mindset. So Dr. Roberta Hosky mentioned that she is my mentor. And it wasn't, I really was not aware that I had these type of beliefs, and that I was limiting myself until began working with her and really seeing like how I formulated my thoughts, how I operated as a human. So today I am going to shed some wisdom, some knowledge, because it is a lot of material out there. There are videos, books, podcasts, you name it. However, I am going to zone in a little more in depth so that you all can take something tonight and begin to transform your lives and begin to expand yourself and the people that are around you. Is that fair? Can I get some? Can everyone hear me? I see the chat moving a little bit, but can everyone hear me? Am I being clear? Okay. All right. I wanted to make sure that I didn't lose the sound or anything. So, where I'm going to begin today is when it comes to the word poverty. We all probably think that poverty is only about money. Am I right? When you think about poverty, you only think about money, right? But what if I tell you that poverty actually is the way that you think instead of the actual tools and resources? Money is the tool, the resource. Poverty is the opposite of abundance, okay? So with poverty, we have to ask, what does poverty as a state of mind really mean? When you ask that question, two things come up. There's situational poverty and there's mental poverty. Situational poverty is like temporary loss. Those are things that are out of your control, but they affect your state of mind, such as a job loss, um, a crisis, a health scare. These are things that you weren't expecting at all, but because they are affecting your money, you can only focus on the loss of the money part. The second part is mental poverty. This is the thinking patterns that come along with what we think is associated with why people associate poverty with money, right? This is how you think. So something happens and like a bill comes in the mail. You weren't expecting it. You have to scramble because they're going to garnish your check. But when we stop and we really, really look at what is happening, it was the way that you were thinking in that moment. So you created that bill. It may have been a long time ago, but you created that bill. You made the choice to sign up for whatever the service, the program, and then something happened situationally, right? So then you went on about your life and you did not take care of that responsibility. So now things are going great, things are going good, and you are upset. So what does it do? It sends you back to the moment of when you are associating money with poverty. You're saying things like, things are always happening to me. Oh my goodness, I only work to pay bills. Um, Money, what do you call it? Money doesn't, it puts a hole in my pocket. Any of those things, those are what you're associating with the tool that's supposed to uplift you, right? So how do we address poverty if there's situational poverty and mental poverty? Addressing comes with it comes with a lot of faith. It comes with a lot of repetition. It comes with a lot of persistence, okay? When you go to address the resistance, you have to go directly to the source, okay? So, what about people? All right, so let me step back. So when you address the resistance, you have to understand that the patterns that you have will keep coming up. You have to look at, if I decide that I am going to save $500 a month and I'm putting money away, and then my girlfriend calls, I have to be disciplined and I have to say either no, not right now. I have to say, even though she's like, girl, this concert is in town, it's one of a kind, I have to resist the urge because it was not in my best interest or my goals or plans to attend this concert prior to. How we can get around that as well, additionally, is what I learned through my coaching, is to have a just in case or a fun bucket, right? Money that is for those times that you want to go and you want to attend these extra things, a spending plan. You include this on there. So then you have to resist taking that $500 and going to this concert and splurging on it and saying, I'm going to put my future goals aside. You have to become responsible, right? In order to have resistance on something, you do have to identify what is causing the mindset. Identifying a poverty mindset is easier for people on the outside than it is for the people who are actually living it. Because I don't know that my words are causing my bank account to shrink by speaking against certain things, such as, oh, telling your kids, oh, we can't afford it, or we're broke, or you know what, we will never, never be able to do the things that those people are doing. We can't go, like, you're shrinking that bank account, right? That's part of resistance. So you have to identify these things by looking at what you are saying, what you're projecting, because words matter. You are creating with your words. This tells you the state of what your mind is. In a moment, I'm going to go through how to shift that. But I wanted you to also right now focus, if you're taking notes, to focus on these things that are common signs that you may have a poverty mindset. You are only thinking about right now. What that means is every day you wake up and you start your day, do you have a plan or an intention for that day? What this looks like is a calendar or a notepad with a list. On here should have sections such as spiritual goals, reading your Bible, praying, health goals, financial goals, long term and short term, relationship goals, family, friends, acquaintance, and then careers. These are just examples, but they're the main common points of what we get up and we think about first thing in the morning. These are short term goals that you are focused on um, every day that you're worried about. Remember, a couple of weeks ago, I talked about anxiety. These are things that you have your first thought on because you're trying to figure out how you're going to get these things accomplished. We just passed New Year's, we celebrated, and a lot of us made New Year's resolutions. We're in the middle of March. How many of you have achieved one or two things on that list? How many people are still speaking about the things that are on this list? These are signs of poverty mindset if you're not progressing. So again, it's more than money. The next thing, sign of poverty mindset, you actually have a fear to invest because you think that it's risky. I'm going to say it again. You have a fear of investing because you think it's risky. How would you know? Break it down. Okay. If someone came to you and said, I'm going to use real estate. I'm going to use real estate. If someone came to you right now and said, you could buy a house, a lot of you will focus on your credit score. A lot others of you will focus on the money that it takes to buy the house. I'm going to let you know right now, a lot of you can be homeowners, business owners, if you just step outside of focusing on the little that is appearing in front of you and expand your thinking. We have to learn to expand our thinking to get outside of poverty mindset. We have to look at the bigger things. There are government grants out there. Dr. Roberta Hosky is on here like every week speaking about these grants. She has case studies. I help my clients here in Maryland, the DMV area, obtain houses, investment properties with little to no money down, with credits below 580. Come on, guys. You guys hear these things and you begin to shut out the possibility. That's a sign that you may have a poverty mindset. You might say, well, I just know because one lender turned me down. That's the wrong lender. He didn't know the other programs. He didn't know about the resources that are out there. We have a lot of sisters in the sisterhood who are doing big things. They are investing in stocks. They are investing in bonds and insurance. Come on, there's a lot of women who share so many tools, but we talk ourselves out because I think it's called poverty mindset. You just don't name it. So the next thing that is a sign of a poverty mindset is the belief that opportunities are for you. What is that prayer? The Jabez prayer. Expand my territory. Come on, say it right now. Expand my territory. Expand my territory. You may have signs of a poverty mindset if you are sitting at home with ideas and goals. You are talented. You are not sharing these things. You're talking about it. You're telling people, and people are saying, oh, you should do this and you should do that. Get out there. And you're starting to think about the things that it takes, the things that it takes to do that big thing. Well, expand my territory brings the people, the places, the circumstances, the situations that will expand your territory. Stop sitting in the corner. Get up and start looking for those people, places, circumstances, and situations. Y'all know the story of when when the person is stranded on the island, and then all of a sudden the boat comes, and you say, "No, I'm waiting on God." Then the ship comes. No, I'm waiting on God. Then the helicopter comes. No, I'm waiting on God. And then the person passes away, gets to heaven, and say, "Hey, God, what happened?" And he said, I sent the boat, I sent the ship, and I sent the helicopter." Well, a lot of you have been getting signs, but you're still sitting in the corner. You're hiding your talent. I'm trying to keep it peaceful because you guys have to understand that I get passionate about this stuff. I speak to my children. When I get going, I will go for hours. So I'm trying to stay on topic, stay on track, because I will go. I have a passion for it. And I believe that each and every person that I come into contact with has to know that there is a light inside of them and there is power inside of them, and that there is potential that they can't see, but I can see when I approach them. So I do speak life to them. And for you, all that's on this call today, you got on this call because you are searching for an answer. You are tired of looking at your purse, at the bottom of your purse, or pulling your bank. Oh, good example. You are at the grocery store, you in your car, you got to check your balance to make sure you have enough money before you go in the store. Why is that? Because some things may have been taken out before, while you were driving to the store, that you did not calculate. And now you trying to figure out, do you even have enough for whatever it is that you're trying to get? Come on. Another sign that you may have a poverty mindset is you're overworking, but you're not advancing. You're overworking, but you're not advancing. I really, 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 really don't mean to step on anybody's toes tonight, but I have to say it. A lot of us, we get stuck, we get comfortable. We get comfortable. I'm gonna give you an example. I had a financial hardship a couple of years ago, so I had to rebuild. And in the midst of me rebuilding, I had to take a job. So what did I do? I prayed. I took my problem to God, and we discussed because one thing is for sure, I know God is not a genie. We discuss what it is that I am missing. And in the midst of it, I realized that if I go to a specific job, it was a one of these jobs had gave me a salary that I would have got really comfortable in. I am an entrepreneur at heart. I am a business owner at heart. I have to have my time available because I have a very large family. So, me going to a job that will stagnate my freedom because I have to report to the boss, I have to ask for time off, it won't work for me in the long term. And not only that, I need to be available. Me personally, I said it. I have to be available to my children for when they call and say, Mom, I need you to pick me up. Mom, I want to go to lunch today. Mom, I need to just chat. I cannot be at someone's workplace whispering on the phone. That's me personally. So I'm going to step on some toes right now. And I'm going to say, maybe this is your sign to begin putting together that business plan, because right now you are overworking. You are working for somebody else. The same skill. I realize that. The same skill that you are doing for that $20 an hour can be multiplied. It's nothing wrong with going to a job. Don't get me wrong, because jobs can teach you skills, they can give you resources, they can advance you, they can provide that real estate, they can provide the fundamentals for your retirement accounts, your mutual funds. Jobs have benefits. However, you're using your job wrong if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're not taking at least 65% of your money that you're living off of, and like bringing it down, not 100, but bringing it to 65 to 70% that you live on, investing the 30%, 10, 10, and 10. Tithe, you can play with 5%, do something with the other 5. You got to start expanding your resources and invest in 10. When you get risky, you bump up your investment amount. It's so many ways. We have so many resources that tell us these things. And yes, information can bombard us and we can end up doing nothing. Information can bombard us and we can end up doing nothing. So I'm going to take a pause before I get into the other couple of things about the common signs of poverty mindset. And I'm going to tell you again, it is important to invest in yourself. Dr. Roberta Hosky, she's doing the mindset detox. And in April, the end of April, there is a abundance detox. So we have to take it upon ourselves that if we feel like we are not getting the resources, we can't see the resources, we don't want to hear the resources, then we have to begin to break and shift those things. So there are 2 more signs of poverty mindset that may be a sign that you have a poverty mindset. You avoid ownership. I know that, excuse me, we're in a day and age where we like to keep up with the trendiest things. Fine. If that's your thing, your advice, by all means. But I challenge you to put a plan together that won't make you go negative, but will cause this thing to pay for something else. Meaning, if you lease a car or you have a car note, that car should be paying for itself. There's Uber, there's Lyft, there's driving for Walmart, there's so many things you need to do a portion of that time in order for that car note to be paying for itself. Okay? Cell phones. Cell phones are too much money. Thousands of dollars now. They're like $1,500 to $2,000. I don't know why. You just talk and text on them. It should be bringing you money somehow, some way, outside of your paycheck, outside of your job. Your home. It should not be. Well, you guys follow. You guys understand and you follow. A true the true realtor in me, I love multifamilies. I love uh talking about foreclosures. That those homes need to be paying for itself. You need to, right, don't be house poor. If you have a single family right now, figure out if you can turn a portion of that house into a salon if you have that talent, their basement, daycare. It's a lot of things that it could be part-time, like host or coach or do a course, something, rent a room. Yes, rent a room. There is no reason why we should not be aiming to own things, right? The last sign of you may have a poverty mindset is you're comfortable in familiarity. You're comfortable in familiarity. I'm tongue tied right now. You're comfortable with being comfortable when even if it's struggle. You're comfortable with being comfortable even if you're struggling. I know that for years I used to hear specific family members. They would go to church and they would pray for their bills to get paid, and it worked. I'm not going to say that it works for everybody, but for certain people it worked. However, I personally have to take ownership for me. Me going to church to pray for the bills that I created is not responsible. And I become stagnant because I'm not doing what's necessary in order to pay for my bills. I'm waiting on money to just show up. I am waiting for that bonus to appear. I have to say that if it's anyone who is like that, then we have to understand that God, He gives us authority. He is our source. It's not the other way around. So if you begin to get comfortable waiting on God, which is very misunderstood, you have to reevaluate your thinking right now, because you will always be where you are because you're in a poverty state of mind. Now, we're going to go ahead and get right into the meat of this. How do you shift that frame? It's four parts. First, you have to be aware. Again, this is identifying your beliefs. A lot of times we speak, but we're not even listening to ourselves. A lot of us are wise at heart, but we are not taking our own advice. So you have to spend time with yourselves. You have to get your journal. You have to jot out those things that you are, every expression. It does not even have to make sense on paper. Just take that pen and that paper and just jot it out. Ask yourself a question. How can I? You'll be surprised. Sometimes that will flow right through you, right? But I also want you to become aware at what it is that you believe. Journaling several times in a day, maybe at night when the end of your day happened, you can do a recap journal. You can do like a gratitude journal. These things help you to see where you are at that moment. I share a story. It's quite funny now because I've told this story a couple of times. I've shared it. And there was a moment and a point in my life where everyone who knows me knows that I do my own hair. And inside of my phone, I have a Google, the Google memories. And I kid you not, this one particular year, um, several years ago, but this one particular year, I was more aware of my hair because it was August and I had just did my hair and the Google memory came up and my hair was the same the previous year before in August. Okay. September comes and I had changed my hair. And I kid you not, the memory came up. It was the same hairstyle from the year before. So I was like, all right, all right. Now I'm not trying to go through my photos or whatever because I mean I'm always on the go. So whenever I feel like I want a certain hairstyle, I do it. So then October came and guess what? Same hairstyle. You don't have to believe me, but I'm telling you to share with you because some people may experience this when it comes to awareness. So I became fully aware because I was like, all right, what is it around this time of year that I'm doing? What is my patterns? I'm really engaged in this because I'm like, this is more than what we say is coincidence, right? But coincidences are bigger pictures. Like I can't get into it. Happenstance, whatever you may call it. I was trying to figure out why it is that I was doing my hair that way, so I had to break it down. I do my hair because I feel a certain kind of way. I feel curly, I feel straight, I feel braids, But for it to be very, very similar, it's like what happened around this time of the year that I am doing. these hairstyles. So I had to dig deeper. And trust me, you can ask the people around me, because I was like, can you believe that my hair was the same? They was looking at me like, Robin, like, you change your hair a lot. Like, it's okay. No, actually, it wasn't okay for me. I was in a state of finding out, like, I was invested. So I'm telling you to get invested in finding out, why is it that your patterns are the way they are in your health. We start specific things like, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to go for a walk, I'm going to do 10 push-ups, I'm going to do 5 sit-ups. 3 days later, what happened? We start things like, I'm going to do a skincare routine. What happens? We intend to wake up at a specific time. What happens? Why are these things happening? Like resistance, right? You have to become aware at why these things are happening. Look deeper. Ask yourself questions. Don't be afraid to. If somebody crossed you, you gonna get in their face. So go in the mirror, get up in your face, like get in there. I talk to myself in the mirror. I talk to myself on the phone. I don't care, because a lot of times we can tell somebody else about themselves from the top of their head to the soles of their feet. But when it comes to ourselves, we go blank. We go blank. And it's really sad, because we spend the most time with ourselves. So how is it that we don't recognize certain things in ourselves, right? Number 2 of why, on how to shift the poverty mindset: disruption. You have to ask yourself, is this my belief? Is this even mine that I'm carrying? Where did I get it from? Is it something I overheard? Is it a assumption? Like, I just thought that this is supposed to happen, that the cards are being dealt the way that they're that my life is supposed to go the way that it is. I want to challenge you on, if you think that your life is the way it is because it just is, every day you get up, you have a choice to go to work. Some of us might say, no, I have to go to work. You have to go to work because you want to get paid. But if you wanted to, you could stay home. So the reward of getting a paycheck is big. That's why you go. Because a lot of us complain about our jobs. Whenever we make a choice, it is 100% on ourselves. Whenever we say, I'm going to have chocolate ice cream, it is my choice. That does not mean the person next to me is going to choose chocolate. They have a choice too. So, my life, every day that I get up, is filled with choices. I get to choose. I am 100% in charge of how my life outcome will be. I am 100% in charge. Yes, there are situations and things that are beyond our control, but guess what? Ask my children. Robin may cry for a day, but I'm getting back up. I will start over. That's the good thing about the gift of life. God lets us start over every single day. I lay down, I thank him. I wake up, I thank him. It may not have went the way that I wanted it to go the day before, but I wake up and I start over and I thank him in advance for the things that I'm trying to reach. J Bass, expand my territory, expand my territory. I 100% am a living example. If you really, truly, truly knew my story, you will understand that I will tell anybody, and I do tell everybody, that you only have one life. One life. Live it. Choose. You get to build it. You get to design it. It's your life. That is an abundance mindset. I had to learn that, but I had to first become aware. Second, disrupt those patterns. And trust me, I was looking at these patterns like, bruh, I'm getting on my own nerves. Like, but I didn't stop. I would say certain things to my kids like, um, I remember right before my financial hardship happened, I kept telling my kids, you guys are privileged and you don't even know what it's like to live, without. I spoke myself right into that. I My kids got to experience exactly what I didn't want them to experience, but I was speaking that into existence. So I had to take ownership of that. I had to take ownership, right? We didn't stay there because that's one thing about me. I'm not staying down. I love the gift that God gave me of life. The next thing on how to shift the poverty mindset, replacement. So instead, now, when I feel like I'm about to say those negative words or try to teach them a lesson, it's not my place. It's not my place to teach them that because I work so hard in order for them to have the life that they have right now. So it's not fair for me to speak that into them because that should not even be an awareness to them. The life that they have right now should be a platform because great things are always happening to me. Yes. The life that I have right now that I work so hard for is a platform so that they could supersede anything that I lay down. I want them to live the life that they choose to live, not the life that I witnessed as a kid. Why would I keep digging up the past? It's gone, it's in the past. Yes, I want them to learn lessons, but there's a certain way to teach them on the level that they are in. Because my parents had a different lifestyle than me, and their parents definitely had a different lifestyle. And we can keep going on and on. We can go all the way through the Depression. We can go through all the way back, way before, right? Each generation, my dad taught me this. Each generation is supposed to teach the next generation, not about the struggle, but about how they came out. So my father used to hand me his 401k plans at, I was like 11 or, yeah, I think I was 11, and tell me to make a graph. And I would say to him, Dad, it's already a graph. And he would say, make me a new graph. He was exposing me. He was exposing me to 401ks. I I didn't know what I was looking at, but I had to because I'm transposing the information. So now I have to understand what, or try to, because I'm curious. I'm a kid. He could have easily been like, "Oh, I'm not teaching her anything. This is my money when I retire." No, my dad knew that I probably couldn't understand what he was saying if he was teaching me. So he handed me the tool and the resource so that I can get curious. Guess what? I am this years old. I am in my 40s and I am an advocate for financial literacy. My dad he was planting seeds early. He was planting seeds early, along with many other family members and friends and mentors, planting seeds inside of me. When I tell you that I speak life into my children all the time, you know, even though they want you to buy their Sheen cart, even though they want you to get them lashes, even though, they want their hair done every week, a new style, I still speak life into them. And I let them know, don't spend, if you have $100, don't spend all of it. spend a portion of it, save a portion, invest a portion. My kids know. Will they always do it the right way? No, but this is the time for them to make the mistake. My job as a parent is to guide them, not to chastise them because they didn't put the money where they were supposed to put it and they spent it all. The next thing is action. Okay? So far, in order to shift the poverty mindset, you have to become aware. You got to disrupt it. You have to replace that belief or that thought. And now you have to place it in action. It's one thing for me to sit here and say everything that I've learned over the past 10 to 15 years. I can sit here and I can spit out advice to people, and it can mean nothing to me if I don't take action. In order to take action, I had to look at what it is that I had currently and face it. What does that mean? It meant I had to look at what was my routine and my pattern in the morning. Did I just jump out of bed and go? Yeah, I used to. And then be exhausted in the middle of the day because I'm running, running for the next thing to happen, running for the next task to pop up so that it can have my attention instead of actually listing out my goals, my creating systems for specific things. I take the time to write it out. I take the time to think about what it is I'm trying to accomplish. I'm a woman. A million things come at me. A million things come at me. I'm also a creative and an entrepreneur. I have gazillions of ideas, but I have to take the time to plan it out so that I can accomplish specific things. I'm the kind of person that I want everything done right now. I want it done now. I want to be this. I want to be that. I want to achieve that. I want to achieve this. But you have to chunk it down or you'll be living in anxiety, right? You'll be worried all the time because everything's out of your control because you're just allowing things to come at you. So you have to take action. So in order to do that, chunk it down because most people will fail at the new mindset without this particular behavior in motion, right? So save with intention, learn a new skill if you have to. If you have to. If not, apply the skill or talent you have. When you are investing, a lot of us are overwhelmed because we're trying to reach the goal of $1 million, $1 billion. No, take your $50, let it grow to $500. Take your $500 that you grew while keeping the $50 going. Now you can move that into something else while your $50 is still growing that. This is habit. Take that $500 and boom, it's over here growing in a different account because man, I can go on and on. there's no there's no way we should be living a poverty mindset. There's no way. We have lots and lots and lots of resources. And one of them is in today's society having multiple baskets. We don't all live on a farm and we, don't have internet and we don't, like we have resources that teach us how to invest in multiple baskets. I know that my time is coming up, but I wanted to also share that during my financial hardship, I realized that I had baskets, right? However, I misused a major basket because I was basically trying to make fast money. So I had money in a slow growth investment, a mid growth investment, and a long term investment. But then my fourth one was money to invest in now. I had too much money in that investment now. So what happened was when things went south, which things can go south because investment can be risky. That's why you do your research. Well, I had too much money in that investment and it ended up draining my other investments. So that was a lesson learned because in my head, I was thinking that, oh no, nothing can go wrong because I am skilled in this area. Well, it went wrong. And I understand that I put too much there in that basket. I was off centered. It should have been more money in the slow growth. The mid, the two mids, okay, we could play around with those. The one that I'm using for fast growth, it should have been a certain percentage. It should have been. But that's on me. Lesson learned. Again, I wake up every day and I start again. um, so to get ready to wrap up, because I'm not going to hold you long. It is a Tuesday, right? It's a Tuesday. I dropped a lot of gems. I know you're taking notes. I wanted to close with very, very powerful, powerful anchors. Poverty is not just about what's in your bank account. It's about what you believe is possible for your life. Again, poverty is not just about what's in your bank account. It's about what you believe is possible for your life. I'm going to let that sink in for 1 second. Start thinking about what you want for your life. Start thinking about it. Start small if you have to. Chunk it down. Go for it. I challenge you. I do. I challenge you to go for things that you always thought you couldn't achieve. Go for that business plan. Do that business plan and start seeing if you can get funding. You will get that grant. That's it. You will get the grant. Go. They say no, ask someone else. And if they say no, ask questions. What do I need to do? How do I need to formulate this? What do I need to position myself? Once they tell you, if they tell you stuff that you feel like you don't have access to because you're still trying to develop that mindset, tag team with someone, partner with someone. We have to get back to networking. If I am a person who I can fry chicken and you a person who you bake cupcakes, let's get together and open a food truck. Things like this. We got to think big, right? Some verses to anchor everything that I said tonight. One is Proverbs 23:7. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Deuteronomy 8:18. It is he who gives you power to get wealth. Isaiah 60:1-3. Darkness covers the earth, but the Lord rises upon you. And Philippians 4:8. Think on these things. God gives you instructions for your thinking, even in the pressure. So, as I close, I want you to understand that I'm not talking at you. This is all in love. I get passionate. I do. I get really, really passionate about this stuff. And it is all in your control. Switch the brain. I am a living witness. I am a living witness. I go through stuff. I do. I go through stuff. But then I have to speak life back into myself. I have to seek my source, my power source. God is my God gives me authority. So I stay near and dear to him. You may not have chosen your starting point, right? Some people had different starting points. Everybody goes through something. But you choose your next decision. You choose it, okay? That's that from me. Does anyone have any questions?
That was absolutely awesome. Great, great teaching on a poverty mindset. Great examples. Um, Thank you for bringing it down to a way that we can comprehend it. And I also want to commend you on your being transparent with your own journey of battling a poverty mindset. Thank you so much for teaching. Are there any questions before we let Robin go today? Any questions about dismantling the poverty mindset? I was back here being your biggest cheerleader, honey. I was like, yeah, say that. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, that part, that part, that part. I was over here just like, yes, I love it. I love it. And as I said when I introduced you, I have seen the transformation of you from when you walked into the real estate school and was this timid girl. And so I just am so blessed and so happy to see you evolve to this powerful woman of God. Just so happy, so happy, so happy for you. And I had to throw that comment in there. Great things are always happening to me. That's Robin and I. That's our secret joke. That's our secret joke.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, we're gonna do a countdown for questions, and we're gonna let Robin go if we don't have any. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Great lessons, great lessons. Show some love in here as we let Robin go. Show some love, give her some hearts, give her some clapped hands. Thank you, Jennifer. Great lessons. They are definitely appreciate you. Great job. Great job. Dominica is clapping. Yes, they're saying thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. They're saying wonderful. Yes, 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 yes. All right, Robin, thank you so much for your time, your expertise, your wisdom, your guidance, your tips, all of the above. Phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. All right, and we are tuning. I'm messing up my words now. We are concluding today's uh, virtual conference. We will see you back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And to all the Millionaire Mindset sisters, we want you to join us on a school platform tomorrow, 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, as we talk about stocks versus real estate training. Tomorrow, 5:30 on our school platform. All Millionaire Mindset sisters, questions, Q&A will be available. Stocks versus real estate options, because we have to have MSIs, as Robin said, multiple streams of income. Multiple streams of income. All right, guys. I love you. Be blessed. Thank you for showing up today, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.